Right. This little clip that we're putting together is chiefly for the benefit of Bella's owner, but also it will probably have a resonance for many owners. And so, rather than write down some cliff notes, there's another word for it which I can't think of, I thought, you know, visually this will probably be easier for people to understand if I actually talk about the best way to manage Bella or work with her via video. So she's in a place now, a good place to leave, because she's much more settled. But what I want to start saying is that you need to be really, really quiet around her. You need to be really quiet around her. So when you come in, just move very slowly. If you can imagine the film being played in slow motion, that's how you need to move. So everything is really very slow. If she's eating hay, just let her eat hay. Come along to her and very gently put your hand on her nose. Move her back really slowly and gently. And now she puts her head right down for you, so that's a big plus. So just do everything really slowly. I can't emphasise that too much. And make sure that you're not in a hurry yourself with your thoughts and your energy. So keep everything very low key with her, so that she doesn't think anything exciting is going to happen, and she's just sort of like falling asleep in the box. If she goes to walk out, you can just very carefully, everything slow, all your movements really slow and just soft. Right, so I'm going to tack her up now, and we'll turn the camera off for a minute, and then I'll be back once I've put the saddle on, so that you probably don't want to watch the whole process. But I can't emphasise enough how quiet you need to be with this particular type of little horse, and how if you look at her and engage with her, she starts getting slightly hyper. So, you know, if you're hyper with her, she's going to reflect that. So you're almost better off just thinking your thoughts to her, which, you know, she'll pick up on, rather than talking to her directly. So not great use of your hands. Anytime you want to do a hand movement, it needs to signify something. So my hand movement is signifying that I don't want her to come over here. So I'm just doing this, and it's reassuring her, because there was some licking and chewing, as you can probably see, some licking and chewing, and she looks quite happy and contented. So my energy is soft, it's still, it's quiet. I'm being very quiet around her. My body language is very non-threatening, non-exciting, and that means that when she is tacked up and you're going to get on her, she's not all hyped up before you even start, because nobody wants their horse, well, very few of us want, over the age of 18, want our horses to be like that. Okay, so we'll be with you again. I recall you saying that because she wouldn't stand still when you were getting on or when you were on, you used to girth her up very tightly before, well, sufficiently tightly, so that when you were on, you didn't have to tighten it again because she wouldn't stand. Well, what happened with that was, you know, she didn't actually like being girthed up, and she got a little bit grumpy with it and would always sort of swing her head round and things. So that's largely gone now. So just want to say, when you are girthing her up, just take your time and do it just one hole at a time, very, very slowly, like I'm doing here. And just girthing it up really slowly, and you see she hasn't turned round and made a face at all. And of course she does stand still now, so you haven't got that problem. So don't be in too much of a hurry to just wrench the girth up, you know, as if you're tying up a parcel, because it is uncomfortable for her, and she'll really appreciate it if you just take your time. Right, now she's tacked up. Now the other thing is, it's taken a long time to get Bella to actually stand in her box with her head down and like relaxed. She doesn't do relaxation easily, and we have had a chat where, you know, I know that you were keen to work on your own sort of development with her through yoga and things, and I think that's absolutely excellent because she doesn't do relaxation easily. She's always like slightly wired, like a horse on caffeine or a person on caffeine. So it's taken a while to get her like this, and if you to keep her this way, when apart from all the moving slowly and stuff, which I've said, and you know, not sort of like fussing around her too much or being too bright and breezy around her, when you want her to come out, because you want her to stand in here, you then don't want to just sort of suddenly haul her out, because it's like then she thinks, oh, it's not a good place to be in here. If you think about the psychology, it makes sense. So, you know, we like to just take the noseband here with a couple of fingers and back out like I'm doing here, and just sort of saying, come on, by just like a little wobbling here, because I really don't want her to come out very fast. You know, I want her to think it's okay to stay in here. So I've only got my finger here, so I'm not sort of pulling her around by the bit. Right, and so she'll just come out slowly, like, imagine everything in slow motion in the film. Now, she couldn't come out more slowly, could she? Now, this is great for Bella. We used to do everything like a rocket. Right, now, when it comes to getting on, because she's so small and lightweight, it really applies to all horses. If she's not standing on all four legs square, then when you go to get on, she's going to be off balance, so she's going to start walking. So where she is here now, she's not particularly square. So I'm just going to very gently square her up so that she's sort of in a straight line and all her feet. Now that's much better. So now when I go to get on, I'm not going to unbalance her, all things being equal. So again, take your time with this. Like, don't think, oh, I've got to get on, I've only got half an hour to ride. If you're short of time, then you're probably best not ride at all. So again, you know, do this slow motion thing. You can't go too slowly, and if you haven't got time to go slowly, well then perhaps, you know, you need to rethink, your day and how much time you can set aside for Bella. Now, in the initial stages, or most of the time, we prefer to move the block to the horse rather than the horse to the block. And so when you go to get on, I mean, you can actually get on Bella with no reins at all now. But when you go to get on, I mean, I don't think you should have no reins, because, you know, you shouldn't have no reins. So just take up the reins lightly and really hold some rein with your left hand here and press on her neck. And put your foot in the stirrup, and your aim is to not interfere with her balance. So when you get on slowly and land gently in the saddle, okay, so as to cause the least disruption to her, because she feels every single little movement. So get on slowly and sit down slowly. Don't just plonk down like you're going to sit in your favourite chair, because it's very hard on her back. Now, she may put her head down, and that's absolutely fine. Now, the other thing she found really difficult, I couldn't get her to stand, because every time I went to put my right foot in the stirrup, she'd start, you know, fussing and throwing her head around and trying to walk off. And that's because, without realising, whoever had been riding her had sort of kicked her in the belly or squeezed her in the belly while putting the foot in the stirrup. So it's important to have the whole foot parallel to the horse and the heel turned away out as much as possible, and just very gently feel the foot into the stirrup, so you're not actually giving the horse. This causes more horses to walk on than anything else, is the fact that the rider just starts, you know, shoving the foot in the stirrup, not realising that they're actually giving the horse the cue to walk on, and then wonder why they do so. So anyway, my foot's in the stirrup now, which I'm very happy to park mostly, at least at home. Now, with the girth, or adjusting your stirrups or anything like that, try and do it slowly without rocking around on top of her, because if I start doing this, I'm going to unbalance her and she's going to want to walk off. Well, she's actually not, but most horses will. The minute you start doing this, they think, oh yeah, you know, it feels uncomfortable, I've got to walk forward. So don't worry that she sticks her head down, that's only because she's used to having somebody pull on her reins. And I'll just do my birth up once more. So yeah, the stiller you can sit in the saddle, the least invasive you can be, the better. Right, so now you're ready to start off on your ride. So you do have to work quite hard with Bella to keep her head straight, and that will be ongoing. You know, if she were here, I don't know how many more months it would be till Bella, you didn't need to keep her head straight, so you will have to work quite hard at that. So the rein length will be dictated by where her head is. Because her head is lower at the moment, because she's quite relaxed here now, my reins can be longer. If her head was right up in the air like a telescope, well then my reins would obviously need to be shorter because her neck is shortened. So the length of your rein will be dictated by the length of her neck largely. Could you pass me a stick, Gabs? When you came to try her, I didn't suggest you carry a stick because I thought, well, it's two good things to think of. I carry a stick with Bella because she's no longer frightened of it, and in actual fact it gives her quite a lot of security. So we'll just go out into the yard and I'll just, you know, if you want to carry a stick and you feel happy that you can, you know, actually it's not going to cause you too much inconvenience, so I'll show you what I do with her. The other thing which I did say is you need to always have your leg on with Bella because it gives her confidence. It really, really does. When she feels that leg is there, she feels you're with her. So when you ride her, you're going to be absolutely with her. You're not going to be thinking about anything else that's happening on a daily basis in your life. You're going to devote that time where you're riding or you're with her to just thinking either nothing or just, you know, about what's actually happening with Bella. So we'll just walk out to the yard now. Now when you want her to walk out, look where you want to go. So it's surprisingly easy to look down at the horse's ears, not where you want to go, and wonder why they don't actually go where you want them to go. They just stand still. And just use your legs lightly and say, walk on. And let her just plod out really nice and slow. Just make sure